What's going on, everybody? I wanted to start getting into my health content. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about free radicals. Before I get into supplements and specifics, I feel like it's good to kind of lay down a foundation so you have a more clear understanding of why I recommend certain things and what I'm even talking about. So what are free radicals? Free radicals are things that are created in your body that cause damage. They cause oxidation, to keep it really simple, okay? Um, they just come from natural biochemical processes, right? When you run, you create free radicals. When you eat and you're digesting food, you create free radicals. When you exercise, even when you do things that are good for your health, you create free radicals. Now, if you eat really, really healthy food, you create far less free radicals than if you eat junk food. You see what I'm saying? So I guess essentially what I'm trying to say is your goal is to create as little free radicals as possible. However, we can neutralize them as well, and we do that through antioxidants. What free radicals do is they cause oxidation, and oxidation is damaging to you. When you bite into an apple and you notice that it turns brown very quickly, that's because it's starting to oxidize. Now that you've removed that protective layer that seals it, the skin, it begins to oxidize from the oxygen in the air, right? So essentially that's what's going on in your body all the time, but your body is in a constant state of healing itself. Your body's always going around killing dead cells, healing itself, and you actually hyper accelerate that process through fasting, which I found amazing when I began to really learn about that, because obviously we know fasting is a biblical concept, but your body goes into something called autophagy, typically between 2 and 3 days. It varies. For the most part, when all the sugar gets out of your system, if you're someone that eats low carb or no carb, you're going to go into autophagy far faster, as well as ketosis, which is when your body runs on fats instead of carbohydrates. And it's a great way for your body to run, but it's the energy is not as explosive as well. So there's pros and cons with that. But in terms of antioxidants, they're in lots of different things, fruits and vegetables, and you'll hear about things that have a lot of antioxidants. Berries are known for them. You just have to be cautious and look at the source a lot, because oftentimes, like for example, with our food, berries, they're covered in pesticides as well. So you're getting in antioxidants, which is great. They get rid of the free radicals, but they're covered in pesticides, which create toxins and poisons and free radicals. And a lot of those things, they really bury deep into your system. They get in your organs, they get stuck in your lymph nodes. It's like horrible. I've heard, I don't know how true it is, but I heard anyone that has a tattoo, even if they got it 50 years ago, you can cut open their lymph nodes after they die, and there's tattoo ink in there, because when you got it got in your bloodstream, and your lymph nodes filter everything in your blood, and it's this goes to show how things really stay in your tissues, which is again why fasting is so powerful. Because as I mentioned, even when you eat and digest food, you're actually working your body and you're creating antioxidants. So when you actually stop eating for a period of time and you give your body a complete rest, and it recognizes, okay, there's no food coming in, like let me go into a repair mode, it's tremendous what your body can accomplish. And then even if the next best thing I would say is just a great way to be more healthy is to not eat a lot of time, not snack a lot, right? You don't just want to constantly be taking in food. Try to do windows, right? 1 meal a day is great, 2 meals a day is great, 3, whatever. Some people need to eat more often, but just try to at least get it in a window. If you're going to eat, you're going to eat from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. and then maybe again from 12 to 1, and then maybe later on in the evening, from 6 to 7. But outside of that, try your best not to snack. Because you're really throwing off your insulin. Your insulin sensitivity can get messed up. More so if you're eating things with carbohydrates, which most foods have in them. But every time you eat carbohydrates, you release sugar into your body, and the way to bring down your blood sugar is by releasing insulin. But insulin is a storage hormone, and it causes you to get fat, basically. And then not only that, but if you eat a lot of carbs over time, your body gets desensitized when it dumps insulin, so it has to dump more and more and more insulin to keep up. And eventually that's how people, first they get pre-diabetic, and then eventually they become full-on diabetic, because their body cannot release enough insulin in order to bring down their blood sugar. And then they have all types of issues, become hypoglycemic. But These things never existed because our food was ever like this. All the processed foods, all the crap in our food, all the sugar. I mean, the juice is crazy. Like soda and stuff, it's liquid sugar. You're not meant to, even in nature, when you do find sugar, like obviously there's fructose in fruit, it's combined with fiber. So the fiber is going to slow down the process of which your body can get the sugar. It doesn't just hit you like that. But when you just chug a soda or something, you're getting all the sugar at once, you know, and it just really overloads your system. And we're incredibly durable. It's crazy that we can live like this for so long, and most people kind of get by, you know, for the most part, but we were not meant to live like this. You know, you want to try and steward your body well and give it good things, and you'll find a huge difference in the quality of your life. Your thinking, a lot of things and issues that we have, they're just kind of byproducts of just junk food and stuff. It's like that's why it's so hard to nail it down to one thing. And there's so many issues that people have that we kind of just accept. You know, I have anxiety, or I can't really sleep at night, or I'm always bouncing my leg. I have restless leg syndrome. My legs bouncing like a jackhammer all the time. I can't stay still. Like we just got all these issues, and it's you know, we've accepted it because a lot of people have it, so it must be normal. But you have to also look at history and how new so many diseases and ailments that people have are. There's so many things that didn't even exist, like cancer. Where did it come from? You know? I can tell you for sure that most of the issues that we have, obviously it's always spiritual, number one, but most of them are coming from our diet, our food. And you can look at other countries where their agencies are a lot more strict, and that's something they've been bringing up recently is they've been getting at one of the cereal companies because they're asking them, why are the Fruit Loops in other countries, you know, they have natural food coloring, and ours are neon yellow. They're using red 40, you know, yellow 7, whatever the names are, but unnatural food coloring. And it's for no reason. Like, why does it have to be that red? Why can't you use the same formula you use over there? But it's because our FDA, our Food and Drug Administration, allows those things. And you have to ask why, which is why it's probably good that there's a lot of oversight and a lot of overhaul and a lot of auditing and looking into things going on, because we're paying these companies a lot of money to keep us safe. But these experts and professionals that are supposed to be paying attention to this stuff are leaving us wide open to horrible regulation. I can tell you personally, I used to work, one of my first jobs ever, super divine, but I worked in the supplement industry, and we private labeled supplements for people, and there was no regulation. I mean, listen, you could literally put sand in a capsule and send it to someone. If they didn't test it, they would not know. You just have to put a disclaimer. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The supplement company is wildly corrupt. When it comes to supplements, do not buy like stuff on Amazon because it's the cheapest. Get it from a reputable brand. You may even want to get it directly from the website, because now there's even people that copy the real brands, and it's a fake. It looks exactly the same, but it's not from the real company. You have to make sure it's from their website. You know, you guys know how scammers are these days. Like the amount of effort they go to scam you, I always say you might as well have just started a real business, because you put in so much effort to run this scam. You know what I'm saying? Just get your money above board. But as I was saying, I used to work in the supplement industry, and I remember when I would go back, because we made protein, we made everything, like you name it, we would get it for you. But we had a huge machine. It was like half the size of the back of a tractor trailer 18-wheeler, so we could make these big batches of protein. And I remember, you know, you have a few main ingredients. You have your protein itself, which was most of what you needed, and then of course you would have your flavoring system. For strawberry, you use strawberry flavoring, and then you would have your sweetener. For us with sucralose, and then the last thing typically would be your coloring. If you're making strawberry protein, you would use like that red 40 stuff. And it always amazed me when they would make a batch, they would put in tons of every ingredient, like a good amount, a lot, because it was a huge batch. But then when it came to that food coloring, well, they take a little teaspoon and just boop, and the whole thing would just turn blood red. And I'm like, what is that stuff? You just knew something that wasn't right about it. Like, why is it that strong? You use a little teeny bit and the whole thing instantly just like blood red. And I also remember when I would go back into the ingredient room, the area where we had, I remember red, yellow, blue, and purple for probably like banana, grape, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But they represented flavors, but they were these red food coloring, the fake stuff. And everything around the whole area where we stored it was dyed that color. Things that don't usually get dyed, like the metal. It was on a metal rack, and everything around the red one was like completely red. And I'm talking like from the person coming back and sitting on the shelf, and a little bit of dust just would pop up in the air and just land, and it would dye everything. Your hands would be like red for like a week. You do not want to eat this stuff. I promise you. I have seen I'm traumatized from being in the supplement industry, but I'm glad I had that experience, you know, because you guys got to know, particularly when it comes to putting things in your body, do not go with the cheapest. Do not just try to save money. There's a time and a place to save money. That ain't it, all right? I totally understand when it comes to food. We're not rich, and sometimes we have to, you know, make it stretch and make it work. And in that area, you can just learn. You can learn a lot by just use common sense. Like for example, buying organic bananas does not make sense because bananas have a peel on them. So you're peeling off the pesticides anyway. Now, organic apples, yes, because you eat the skin. You have to think about these things. There's certain things that you don't need organic versions of. If you're gonna peel off the outer layer and there's a thick steak, maybe avocado, probably don't need organic, right? You're peeling off the outer layer. But you know, wash it real good before you, you know, open it up and things like that, because you can get what's on the outside on the inside, you know, so, but just, you know, exercise some common sense. And, you know, I'm gonna try to drop as many gems as I can and help you guys to start to figure out and learn some of these techniques and strategies that I use, because it's not as hard as you think to do it gradually. Just make little changes here and there. I find that it's mostly just knowledge. There's a lot of simple changes people can make and they just go, oh, that's it? Wow, I didn't realize. They think it's like this big overhaul, and it's really not. You know, I know from my wife, like, she has a whole different diet now that she probably never would have thought she would have had. And a lot of it was from her just watching me cook and let me eat a piece of that. Let me eat a piece of that. You know, and over time, her whole diet is different. And she had a lot of digestive issues when we met. She would get really gassy, her stomach would hurt. All that stuff is gone. And for me, I keep it simple because, you know, I was a bachelor, so I was mostly just cooking steak at the time. You know, I really like steak. It's got a lot of nutrients in it. And, but anyway, we'll talk more about that in another video, all right? I hope this video blessed you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and definitely come back. Stay tuned. I will hit you with a lot more on the health front and get you guys educated and knowledgeable. All right? Have a blessed day.